joint session of the City Council and School Committee will now come to order. Please call the roll, Mr. Clerk.
Councilor Capone.
Here.
Councilor Della Sola.
Here.
Councilor DeFlorio.
Here.
Councilor Hanlon.
Here.
Councilor Matusky. Here. Councilor McKinnon.
Here.
Councilor McLaughlin.
Here.
Councilor Napolitano.
Here.
Councilor Sani.
Here.
Councilor Simonelli. President DePiero.
Here.
School Committeeman Abrazazi. School Committeeman, D'Onofrio. School Committeeman Ela. School Committeeman Parker. And School Committeeman McLaughlin. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. School Committeeman Panarisi. School Committeeman Abrazazi. 17 members present, Mr. President.
Will the audience please stand and join us in saluting the flag? Please read the only item, Mr. Clerk.
Item number 1 is an order offered by Councilor Anthony DePiero as president. In accordance with the City of Everett Charter, that the City Council and School Committee fill the vacancy of the Ward School Committee member for Ward 5, created by the recent passing of Mr. Robert Carrero, whose term expires December 31st, 2017. Motion is before, the piece is before you.
So make a
Needs to be
motion
in.
to open nominations.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to open nominations. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Councilor DeFlorio.
Mr. President, I would like to take this time to appoint Marconi Almeida Barrios. Marconi has been a very good friend of the family for a long time, and I know he will do a great job on the school committee. Marconi will come to my home with a big hug and a kiss saying, "This is my city councilor." We could sit at the kitchen table for hours and disagree on everything, and always leaves with a hug and a kiss. So he will do a great job in the schools with the children, because that's what children need. They need someone that's gonna work tirelessly with everybody in the school committee to get things done at the schools, just like we work together as city councilors to move the city forward. Unfortunately, this is a bittersweet nomination because, as you well know, Robert Carrero was our friend, all our friends, because he was a peacemaker. He was great to all of us, and we dearly miss him. But I believe that Marconi is the person for the job.
Thank you, Councilor. School Committeeman Parker. If you want to use the microphone, you can, you can sit right there.
Yep.
Hit the button.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Through you to the honorable members of the City Council and School Committee. I rise to second the nomination of Mr. Almeida. I was told in private industry by one of my mentors that when you're looking for a new hire, there's 3 things you're looking for: content, chemistry, and compensation. And only one of those is negotiable, which of course is compensation, but we'll talk to you next year about that. Councilwoman DeFlorio has already demonstrated the content of Mr. Almeida, and it's my belief he's got the chemistry to be a very effective, productive school committee member. I see him working with City Hall, the mayor, this honorable body. I see him working with central administration. I see him working on behalf with his chemistry on the employees, each and all the teachers. But more so, I see him with chemistry to demonstrate and work on behalf of the students, those people in direct need of his representation. So with that, I'd like to place his name into nomination. Thank you.
Are there any other nominations? Mr. McLaughlin?
I'd like to nominate Donald Concanon for school committee. He's had many, many years of service to the Everett Public Schools. Students know him well. My children, my grandchildren know him well. He's always been one of the best and a real go-to guy in the school department, particularly from the students. So I'm nominating Donald Concanon.
On behalf of Councilor Simonelli, Mr. Matusky.
Thank you, Mr. President. On behalf of Councilman Simonelli, he would like to second the nomination of Mr. Donald Concanon, who he's known for many years, as a teacher, as a coach, and as a friend. Councilman Simonelli would like to second the nomination.
Are there any other nominations? Motion made and seconded to close nominations. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. I believe the clerk will call a roll, and you say who you are voting for.
Almeida Barros. The letterings.
Counselor Capone.
Marconi Almeida Barros.
Counselor Della Sola. Counselor Del Florio.
Marconi Almeida Barros.
Counselor Hanlon.
Marconi.
I'm sorry, Counselor? I didn't hear you. I didn't hear what you said. Thank you, sorry. Counselor Matusky. Counselor McKinnon.
Marconi.
Counselor McLaughlin.
Marconi Almeida Barros.
Counselor Napolitano.
Marconi Almeida Barros.
Counselor Sani.
Marconi Almeida Barros.
Counselor Simonelli. Thank you. President DePiero.
Mr. Barros.
School Committeeman Aperzese. School Committeeman D'Onofrio. School Committeeman Ela. School Committeeman McLaughlin. School Committeeman Panarisi. And School Committeeman Parker. Fourteen votes for Mr. Barros, 3 votes for Mr. Concanon.
Mr. Barros, you have been appointed. Would you like to step forward and say a few words?
I,
Marconi Almeida Barros,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge and perform
discharge and perform
all the duties incumbent upon me
all the duties incumbent upon me
as a school committee member
as a school committee member
for Ward 5,
for Ward 5,
according to the best of my abilities
according to the best of my abilities
and understanding,
and understanding,
agreeably to the rules,
agreeably to the rules,
regulations,
regulations,
laws,
laws,
ordinances, and charter
ordinances, and charters
of the city of Everett.
of the city of Everett.
So help me God.
So help me God.
I
Marconi Almeida Barros,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will be true faith and allegiance
to the Commonwealth of
to
Massachusetts,
the Commonwealth of Massachusetts,
and I will support the Constitution of the Commonwealth.
and I will support the Constitution of the Commonwealth.
So help me God.
So help me God. I, Marconi Almeida Barros,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will true faith and allegiance
to the United States of America,
to the United States of America,
and I will support the Constitution of the United States.
and I will support the Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Mr. President, members of the Everett City Council, members of the Everett School Committee, members of the school administration, invited guests. It's an honor to receive this appointment and become the next school committee member for Ward 5. The Everett Public Schools are the pride of this city and one of its greatest institutions. It's also an honor to follow the late Robert Carrero, whose loss will be felt for quite some time in this community and on this committee, as he gave so much of his life to service in Everett, whether it was on the school committee, during his time as an educator, or on the Everett Housing Authority. Mr. Carrero served with honor and was a true role model for public servants. He was also known as a peacemaker. And in that spirit, I want to acknowledge Don Concannon and his family, and that we can all work together for Everett moving forward. Although many of you know me already, or haven't gotten to know me over the years, or even over the last 3 weeks, please allow me to briefly introduce myself to those who may be less familiar of who I am and why I want to serve on the Everett School Committee. I currently work at the Office of the Attorney General. I am the Chief of Community Engagement, a new division created by Maura Healy, my boss. I am the first person to serve in this role, where I am responsible for outreach and educating communities across Massachusetts on how the AG's office can work for them, from protecting its citizens from predatory lending, companies that don't respect their workers, and seniors who may be victims of scams. As part of the AG's team, I've worked on funding summer youth jobs through a number of grants across the state, including some positions right here in Everett, because we know one of the most important lessons in life for our youth is to learn the value of hard work and responsibility. I also help promote the AG's efforts to combat bullying in our schools and fight the presence of drugs on our streets that threaten our children through a number of programs I'm involved with. I'm also an educator. I've taught at Northeastern University, and presently I'm teaching MBA courses in government and business relations at Southern New Hampshire University's online program. My time in the classroom has given me an appreciation and compassion for students at all learning levels. Education isn't an assembly line in a factory. We need to support our teachers and administrators so they have the resources needed to reach children with different learning skills from different backgrounds and home environments. I bring to the table a different and fresh perspective and the ability to serve as a bridge with my experience in government, in education, to the Everett Public Schools. I was also the acting director of a state agency under Governor Deval Patrick and Governor Baker, tasked with handling millions of dollars in grants to nonprofit organizations and cities and towns to improve the lives of newcomers in the state by funding citizenship classes and ESOL programs. During my time there, I cracked down on wasteful spending and returned a surplus to the agency's budget. And here in Everett, some of you may know me as Mark Puglio's spouse, who used to work on the Everett School Building Commission, which launched a new generation of school building in which we are all so proud. And you may know his sister and his family, Mary, library coordinator for the Everett Public Schools. And their parents, Robert and Diane Puglio, longtime Everett residents who are here with us tonight. Puglio family, you are my role model, and I love you. Mrs. Puglio recently celebrated 60 years at her Everett High School reunion. 60 years. Sorry, Mom, I just revealed your age. And in fact, she grew up only a few doors down from Bobby Carrero, whose parents were longtime and close friends with her parents. Throughout my professional career, I've long believed in service to one's community. It's a value that you, as elected officials, also share. You have all proven to be effective advocates for the community and tireless in making Everett an even better place to live. Your advocacy helps to bring this community together. When I first moved to Everett, nearly 20 years ago, it struck me how much pride there is in this city, how welcoming and embracing it can be. It became my city. And now I feel it's time for me to give back to this community, using the unique set of skills and perspective that I have to offer to the Everett School Committee. When I was chatting with someone recently about my qualifications to serve on the school committee, he remarked, "You are a man who wears many hats." It's true. You can say that I do wear many hats in government, in education, and community advocacy. But as proud as I am of all the hats I've worn, that is something that would make me even prouder. In closing, let me briefly explain. Earlier this year, I served as a judge for the science fair at the Parlin School. At the event, judges were paired with students from the high school, and we worked as a team at evaluating students' projects. I was blown away by the professionalism, maturity, and intelligence of the science and math superstars. I saw students from many backgrounds and cultures working together on projects that looked like they were made by NASA. Seeing these students and their potential filled me with hope and optimism about our future and pride in our community. So, out of all the hats I've worn, it would make me proudest to know that one of these young students in the school system today, maybe a young student born in another country, or whose parents made incredible sacrifice to come to Everett, would look at the Everett School Committee and also feel inspired to serve, give back, and contribute to this community when they were older. To learn, they were able to identify with me and my story. Because in many ways, my story is your story. And our story is the Everett story. And while some of us have lived here for generations and others are more recently arrived, we know that our bright future will be written together. And there is no greater place, no more trusted and valuable institution to help shape our future than the Everett Public Schools. And that's why I am so happy to have the chance to give back to this community and serve on the Everett School Committee. Thank you so much for this honor.
Motion adjourned.
Councilor Capone?
Motion adjourned. Second.
Motion made and second to adjourn. All those in favor? Opposed? The ayes have it. Meeting is adjourned.